but we are going to get started. Make sure you are like, commenting, and sharing. So say hey. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Make sure you get your notebooks, okay? Especially if you are really interested in purchasing, because I'm going to give you some different places to go and then also some formulas. I'm an accountant, y'all, so please bear with me. So make sure you get your notebooks, and I'm going to get into this. Basically, we are going to be talking about saving for a down payment to purchase a home. I work with a lot. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Sabrina Green. I own Legacy Financial Services, which we deal with taxes and credit. Now, I've been doing this for over 5 years for some of it. But one of the biggest, basically, I get a lot of people that want to purchase homes when I work with people with credit. So we're working on the credit to get the better credit score so they can purchase a home. Now, even when the credit gets to where it needs to be, I still see people like, whoa, you're telling me I got to come up with all this money? So my biggest thing is stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And this right here is part of staying ready. You're prepping yourself. You're prepping your future by doing the stuff you need to do now so you don't have to, get a good credit score and now you got 700 plus and you don't have the money to buy the house. You can actually start working on that now. Little things here and there. So that's where we're going to go over to. The down payment and closing costs and how much it is, because it's such a large sum. It's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of funds. It's one of the biggest deterrents that I see people have, besides that credit issue. But in my town, in little old Fresno here, where we go cow tipping, that's what people think we do out here. But in my little town of Fresno, California, the housing market the renting market is going up. It is crazy out here. I mean, we went from the low rates to probably one of the highest increases I've ever seen. Getting a 2-bedroom apartment being $2,200 for something nice or more. Like, if you are in Fresno, if you've seen the prices go up, please let us know what you've seen, because it's crazy. So when I look at the housing market, I'm like, I would rather buy a house and pay this. First off, the housing market is up, but I would rather buy a house while the housing market is up. I'm not going to even wait for it to go down, than rent an apartment. The amount that you can buy a house for and pay a monthly mortgage for is the same amount that you can rent an apartment for. All right, so it's crazy. I don't know what it is like in all these other areas, but this is just what I'm seeing. It's not always, it could even be less. It just depends on the type of house you want, right? So I always like to keep up with the housing because I eventually want to get into the flipping and renting and all of that with housing. I like working on houses. I like owning the house. I love equity. And, I was doing Airbnb a while ago, not really a while ago, a couple of years ago, and did it for a year, but I really want to focus on building legacy. And Airbnb was not it for me at the time. Equity was beautiful. And I was like, listen, we gonna let that go for a second. But I will be getting back into that. But for sure, just looking at the rates that I see, housing is crazy. The amount that you're paying for, an apartment could be the same amount that you're paying for an apartment, for a house or a condo or something that you own. So I'm going to show you exactly how to figure that out. But, so the housing prices are crazy. And as things go up or as things change, everything fluctuates. But once you lock in that mortgage, you lock in the amount that you're going to be paying. 30 years, probably even longer. If things drop, like you can lower your interest and stuff. It could be even lower, but you're locking that price in. So as apartments pricing keeps going up, that mortgage price stays the same. Okay, unless you do something crazy, but it typically stays the same. So that's just some of the things I see. Okay, so in my personal opinion, I would suggest buying as soon as you can. All right, I took a break from talking about housing because I'm young. I've never went, I kind of am young, but I've never went into, the fluctuations of housing. I've never studied the trends, if the housing market does this, then this is when you should buy, blah, blah, blah. I've never went into that. So I stopped talking about you guys should buy a house when everything just started skyrocketing, because I didn't want anybody to be like, oh, Sabrina told me to buy a house, blah, 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 blah. And now I didn't want all that. So I just stopped talking about it completely. If y'all want to buy a house, I can help you get your credit right. I'm not going to talk about it. I even wrote a book. I didn't even talk about the book after I wrote it because there was just so much craziness. But we are back now. And in my heart, it's just the housing market, regardless of where you are currently at, it is always going to be a plus, right? Get in at a good rate, lock it in, and then get in at a price that you can afford, and it will not be something that's just oh no, it's too much. Houses appreciate majority of the time. They may go down, they may go up, but they're gonna go up more than they're gonna go down. So, I've just seen it all, right? I had somebody that I helped get a house in early 2021. And they now have equity over 100,000, almost 200,000. I've got a couple of people that just have equity out of this world because they bought and they didn't wait. So you just never know. So I'm going to get into this. Like I said, my opinion is buying as soon as you can to lock in the goodness of being in a mortgage. When you are paying towards that mortgage, you're lowering the balance of that. That creates equity on top of the home actually appreciating for the majority of the time. So this is just my take on it. I don't see that much wrong with owning a home. They say it's a liability, but at the end of the day, if you're going to be paying for a place to stay, why not pay for something that can help benefit you in the long run? So start building equity. A lot of people talk about, even my book is building wealth through home ownership, but a lot of people talk about building wealth for their family. This is a way to do that, okay? This is one of the ways to do that. So I just wanted to give you that first and foremost. So if you guys are here, say hey, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Share, and comment. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' stories about renting as of right now compared to if you're a homeowner and some of the good stuff. Share the good stuff, please, because there's so much bad stuff that goes around about home ownership. All right, so let's get into this. Let me just tell you, saving money is the easy part when you have the foundation of understanding what you're getting into and have direction on what you're doing. So the last piece that I'm going to share with you guys is actually my method that I talk about with other people. But we're going to start with researching what you're looking for. All right. So everybody's situation is different. I might not want a condo because I have 6 people in my family, but you might only have 2, and a condo with two rooms is fine. So you need to start first by researching basically how much you need to save. So researching on Zillow or any of these other places that show how much housing is, how much houses are going for in the market. Go to Zillow, check out and see what you like. See how much that is. Take the filters and bring it down to where it's okay, this is what I'm looking for, and just see what's out there. See what's actually been sold. Check the houses out. Find what you like, okay? This is going to help your realtor out too, because you're going to be like, oh, no, I like this, this, and this, and this. You won't go into it. You won't go in there trying to figure it out later. But if you research, you start by researching what you like, you're going to get a cost basis of what the housing is that you like. All right. So for me and my family, I need 4 to 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I would like a large lot. But those are my go-tos. Okay, so when I'm looking at housing, I just start there. I put the filter in Zillow. I say I only want to see houses that are this much. I mean this size, 22,000 to 3,000 square feet. You could put that in there too. You could put that it only has a fireplace. All this stuff. Find the houses that you like. Okay. Find stuff that's been sold, find stuff that's for sale, see what you like first. All right, that's where you're going to start, because you don't want to get into the market going and looking at houses and they're showing you houses and you're just like, no, I don't like this, or no, this isn't big enough, or this is too small. So once you figure that out, some people might only need 1,200 square feet, but me personally, we gonna be sitting on top of each other. So I'm gonna be like, can you guys move? But no, so figure out what you like. Go to different neighborhoods. When you're looking at Zillow, you can make it to where it's like the whole city. You can look at places in other cities, but really just have a understanding of how much in different neighborhoods, the house that you like, how much it would cost. Okay, so we're trying to figure out how much it would cost. Okay, so if you're only stuck on a certain neighborhood, see how much that house would cost there, because we're going to bring it down to what you actually can afford, but we're going to start with what you want and then figure out what you're going to be able to, how to bring it in. So yeah, check different neighborhoods, compared to, the east side versus the west side versus the north side versus the south side. Yes, check all the sides. But find a location that shows you different houses that you like, and then figure out how much those houses actually cost. So the second thing is, you're going to take that amount. So we're going to go off of 350,000 as the basis for everything that I'm about to talk about, okay? So let's just say you found the house that you like. It's around 350, and now the second thing that you need to do is go online to Bankrate Mortgage. Search Bankrate Mortgage Calculator. Okay, this is the one that I use a lot. I send people to it all the time. Because when you get to this calculator, you're going to be able to put in how much the mortgage price is. So you're going to put in that 350 or whatever you have, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you what did it have on there? It had the down payment, it had the interest rate, and it told you how much the monthly mortgage payment would be. All right, that's where you're going to start. All right, so you put that in there. 350,000 is going to tell you at this current date, at 4.4%, I thought it was $15,000 down, the mortgage payment would be $1,800. Okay, 3-bedroom. Well, I'm basing this on like a 3 to 5 bedroom, whatever. I don't even know what I looked up. I think I just took them out because I haven't found a bedroom size, a mortgage that, or a house that is 350 that has what I need in it. But really you're just trying to figure out, okay, the house that you did like, let's see if you can actually afford it. So put the amount of the mortgage, put the amount of the house inside of that calculator. It's going to break down. It's going to put numbers in there. You could put in, I think it actually puts your 5% in there automatically as a down payment. So let it do what it does. It's going to give you an amount at the bottom. That's the mortgage, including P&I. So you look at that number. So when I put in $350,000, it gave me $1,800 a month, right? So when you look at that number and you say, okay, now what is my budget? Like, what am I going to be paying if I lived in an apartment? It might be okay to have a home at $350,000, but if it's too high, now you know you can put other numbers in there. Just see, okay, well, if I go down to $200,000, how much will my payment be? And then you could take that and say, okay, well, what does $200,000 get me? And what area will I get the most from? So that's the second part. Just go to Bankrate Mortgage Calculator, put in your estimated prices on the houses that you liked and you saw, and see if you can actually afford the monthly payment. And then just adjust the home pricing accordingly. So that is step number 2. All right. So we're going to Zillow. We're figuring out what we like, how much the housing that we like, how much it actually costs, going to this Bankrate Mortgage Calculator and seeing if we can actually afford that house, because we might have to do some adjustments. Now, number 3, let's get into calculating your down payment and closing costs, okay? So when you go into lending, we're going to have a full class on this. So when you go into lending, what happens is you're going to go to the bank or to your lender and say, hey, this is the house I want, this is how much it is. They're going to say, okay, well, you're going to have a down payment, you're going to have the closing costs, and your credit score needs to look great for you to be able to get this home. I would start with the credit and getting your down payment, but the down payment is it's typically, if you do conventional, it's 5%, right? Or more, okay? 5% or more. And you can talk to your lender about how much you want to put down. If you do like an FHA or other type of programs, it could be 3 to 5% down, okay? So if we're taking our $350,000 mortgage and we are saying we're doing conventional at 5%, then if you calculate that out, you take the $350,000 times 5% and hit equals, it's going to give you a down payment of $17,500, okay? Now, if you were to use another program or an FHA program and you calculate it, let's just do, I don't know which one I used for that. 2 to 3, I think I used 3.5%. So if you take the $350,000 with the other programs, let's just say they're charging you 3.5%, and you do $350,000 times 3.5%, it's going to give you $12,250 as the down payment. All right. So first and foremost, you have the down payment. Okay. The second part is the closing costs. So the closing costs, there are ways to get your closing costs either cut in half or completely paid for, but we're going to say you owe the whole thing. We're going to prep you to have the whole entire thing. Okay. So closing costs are typically 2 to 3% of the loan. So we're going back to 350. So if you were to calculate 350,000 times, I did 2.5% on this one. It would come out to $8,500. All right. Now, when you add on the conventional 5% plus that's the down payment plus the closing costs, your total that you would have to have at closing is $26,250. But if you took the down payment with the FHA or other type of lower down payment and you added that to the regular closing costs, your total could be $21,000 even. $21,000. All right. So we're gonna play with the lower amount. Just because there's different ways that you can get the lower amount. We're going to play with the lower amount. So basically then we go into there's other ways to get the closing costs and stuff paid for, but we're going to go into the last part. So for the number 4 is the ways that you can save for down payment. So I teach what I know. All right. And that's, through your tax return. I teach people to take the lump sum that they get every single year and use that to actually purchase their home. They use that as a way to come up with the funds to actually purchase. So, like I said, I teach what I know. So when it's time to actually go through and, sorry, told y'all they gonna come through the door. So when it's time to actually go and start accumulating this amount, the $21,000, this tax refund can actually be what you use to get that done with. All right, so for me, it actually helped me cover the closing costs when I purchased, just because I was able to start saving from there and save a little bit more. So what I teach is, let's just say you don't use the full refund, right? You use maybe 3/4 of it, so you could take a little bit and go do something with it, you know, turn up one time. So let's just say you take 3/4 of that and put it into a high yield savings account. High yield savings accounts are great because they give you a little bit more back for just having money sitting there. So, you know, every single month they're going to give you money back for the money that you have there, and it will, you know, help put more money in the pot. So my biggest thing is planning this out. Now, let's just say you have 3/4 of your refund saved, and you did that for 2 years. That could give you a nice chunk of change that you are able to put down on the purchase of a house. The other possibility is you could bring money in from a side hustle, or do it the regular way. Start saving. All right. So let's just say you're taking that $21,000. You have $12,000. Take that in there. All right. So let's just say you have that $21,000, and you've already taken money. So $6,000 each year from your taxes gives you $12,000 you already have. That you know you're going to have. You still have $9,000 left over. Now, if you divide that out over a full year, that would mean that you have $750 annually that you would have to save and put into this account every month. All right. So that is one way that you could do it. If you added more time, so if you made it 18 months instead of 12 months, it would make it $500 monthly. So there are ways to actually get to this number of 21,000. All right. So like I said, a high yield savings account just helps you put more money into the bucket. And then on top of that, it really, you know, your credit score makes a factor. But if you go through and you plan for the full amount, and you don't actually have to pay the full amount, now you just got extra money there. But it's all about you making the effort, doing the work to actually save this money to get the house. All right. So I just wanted to give you guys my little tidbit on doing this, making saving a little bit easier, showing you how you can do that, but really just going in and doing the research so you know what you actually got to save. Because if you don't know, you can't even plan it out. So I hope this helps somebody understand how they can save for a house, how actually possible it is. And, you know, if you got more money going into the bucket, you could do it a lot faster. All right. So, hi, Chihuahua. Sorry. So, basically saving for a down payment to purchase a house is doable. This is one way you can do it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other ways. But hopefully you guys got something from this. Let me know if you did. And I hope you guys have a great Thursday. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good day. Bye.